Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the January 6, 2025 meeting of the Litchfield Capital Improvement Committee. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I guess we can go around the room. Jay, we'll start with you.
Jay Minkara, NRPC.
Peter Plansky, School Board.
Pete Stone, Citizen Rep.
Michael Croto, Planning Board.
Kimberly Queenan, Selectmen's Rep.
Marion Colby, Citizens Rep.
Kim Kleiner, Town Administrator.
Brian Burke, Budget Committee.
Hey, well, welcome everybody. Happy New Year to all of you, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. This is our first meeting of 2025 of the Capital Improvement Committee. First item is public input. Does any members of the public wish to provide any public input this evening? And seeing that there is nobody in the gallery, I'm going to close public input at this time. We'll have another one towards the end. Approval of the minutes from December 2nd, 2024. This is from the last meeting we had in December. Does anybody have any questions, anything that they want to amend, or if it looks good, we can approve the minutes? Anything? They look pretty good.
They look good.
I'll entertain a motion to approve them then.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion by Peter Plansky. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Colby. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor of the motion to approve the December 2nd, 2024 minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Those abstained? Okay, motion passes. 1, 2, 3, 5, 0, 0. Perfect. Thank you. Next item we have is update from public hearing on 2025 projects. I'll just start off. We did present to the Board of Selectmen on December 23rd, or I presented to the Board of Selectmen our capital improvement plan. And I don't know, Ms. Kleiner, if you want to make any additions regarding that. I know you weren't at that meeting, but...
I was not, unfortunately. But I viewed it. I think it went well, and they were well aware of all the projects that we were discussing. And there's been some updates and some moving forward, and I think when we talk about the warrant articles that are being proposed, we'll kind of go through some of that.
Okay.
Give you an update on where money's coming from.
Okay, very good. So I guess that will take us to warrant articles and budget updates as of January 3rd, 2025. So I'll let you go ahead, Ms. Kleiner.
So, as we all know, the police station was rated urgent by the committee. So there's some discussion on how we move forward with that, and with that discussion, there's a series of presentations that are going to be held. The first being this coming Thursday night to the Budget Committee. Then Saturday from 9 to noon, the police station will conduct an open house for anybody that would like to come and view the current facility. And then they'll do that again on Monday night prior to the Board of Selectmen meeting from 5 to 6:30. Then, as prescribed by law, we have a bond public hearing on the 14th of January at 7 p.m. at Campbell High School. And so all that has been duly noticed. What we hope, and we know we will have now, is for that public hearing, we'll have more detailed cost of exactly what would an estimated bond payment look like at 15, 20, 25, 30 years, right? And what do those schedules look like? That's one thing that we've been asked. And then from there, I think there will be some conversation on, what is actually needed, and is it a cost that the town can afford? So that's where the police station is. Even if the warrant article was to pass, we would not be looking at a bond sale until July of 2025. It would take that long to get an RFP out there for the construction, and we have a good architect. We actually have a wonderful contractor who's been working with us from the beginning. They are the most experienced with the building since they built the fire station. So they've been working with us every step of the way, and they will actually be at the budget committee on Thursday night with the chief to talk about what the proposed plans look like and why the need for them. The most interesting part, I think, of some of the discussion has been why there, right? So there's been a lot of conversation, if you look at the past few selectmen meetings, on why did we jump right to that. We didn't actually. And the chief's gonna go through the studies that were done prior that all showed that that is the most inexpensive option and the best option as far as town resources. And that's why the site work was done way back then for this facility. And so the chief will get into that with more detail at the budget committee on Thursday night. So that is that. They will have a really nice video. You should all tune in and watch on Thursday night. So then we got to the highway project, right? So the highway, the paving of the highway department and the transfer station, including recycling way, and some catch basin work that needed to be done with that. And so we have an estimate which we took to the board for that project. It came in a little bit more expensive than we estimated it would be because of the catch basin work. So it's actually at $303,743. What we were able to do is to piece together leftover 2024 highway block grant funds we had unspent, with our 2025 highway block grants and some special highway block grants that we received back in 2023. And the selectmen encumbered all that money for that project. So that project will move forward in the spring. So 2 projects down. Then we get into the recreation, which is a little bit more difficult, and there's still a lot of more research that needs to be done on those. But you will see in the proposed warrant articles, the selectmen are putting $40,000 into the Recreation Trust Fund, which was created last year. There was money already assigned in there last year, and it was 25,000, about 15 was spent this year. So with that 40, it will bring us up to 50,000 in that fund. Hopefully, maybe that gets us some seed money to do some research, and we can come back next year with a better idea on what those projects would really cost. But I think the selectmen have been very proactive there. Cruisers. So cruisers is always a big conversation. Again, the selectmen made a change to the proposed warrant articles. So, we were fortunate and we have quite a bit of money left over from the 2024 budget. And so they are going to fund 2 warrant, police cruisers on the warrant from unassigned fund balance. So those are 68,900 roughly a piece. 2, and then the third would be in the budget. So that'll be for police cars.
So the 2 that they're gonna use from fund balance, they're gonna put on a warrant?
Yes. So we have to. They don't have a choice. In 2024, there was a police cruiser on the warrant, not from unassigned, from taxation, but it failed. No means no. So it has to go back to the voters, even if it's from unassigned. But I think it makes a good dent in the list that CIP came up with, in how we move some of these items forward and hopefully get them funded. The police cruisers, because of the amount of money that we are spending on repairs, are crucial. It's getting to a point where we're just going to be throwing good money after bad. So we hope that, that both those will pass. And then I believe that people understand the importance of putting money into the Recreation Trust Fund. And hopefully people see, and if they don't, please come visit the current police station. Hopefully people see the need for that project going forward. So that's where we are.
Okay, well, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Kleiner?
Well, on the town side, it's good, right? If you look at the spreadsheet, we're going through them.
Absolutely.
The only other one was the international replacement, right? We'll try to get a grant in the spring.
So we will
That's line
try
item.
for another Clean Fleets grant in the spring for that. And the other item, of course, is that we've applied for the TAP grant for the sidewalk on Pinecrest.
And when do you anticipate hearing about that?
So I just received news that there's some workshops in January that we have to tune into, which will walk us through the timeline better for that.
It'll be a while.
Okay. Curious.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Plansky, is there anything from the school side? I don't know if you have anything.
Well, there'll be the budget, of course. There's a LSSA contract agreement that will be voted upon. There is a couple of positions that are going to be on there, one being a network administrator, one being a trainer, a part-time trainer on staff. Currently, we use an outside company. Those rates are going up. By bringing somebody on board, they'd still be part-time, but we would get more hours, and they would be employee. They could do other things for us. As far as the athletic department goes, there'll be a couple warrant articles, one to start saving some money, putting some money aside for the repairs that are needed at all 3 schools. We had a company come in, On-Site Insight, do an analysis of all 3 schools. Those reports are available, but each of the schools needs to be regular maintenance. It's really like a 30-year capital plan for the repair and maintenance of the buildings. That will be on to raise some money there. There's a couple of other small appropriations. There'll be a request to set up a separate trust fund to pay off the solar array. When it comes due in 6 years from the time they turn the switch on, which is still to be determined. A request to raise money for the special ed capital reserve fund, as we're going to be overspent. In years past, we've always underspent in the special ed. But we've had a couple of big outplacements that we've had to come up with. And then the, sort of the normal stuff as far as putting money into the capital improvement fund and the building maintenance fund. So there's 11 articles, so it's a lot. It's not finalized yet, it's supposed to be finalized tomorrow. So I don't want to necessarily throw out any hard numbers. So that's where we are.
And in terms of the Facilities Improvement Committee, did you folks have an opportunity to look at the survey results at all? Or
Yes,
anything come out of
we
that?
did, and if I haven't sent it to everybody, I'll be happy to. It's public. The results are interesting, you know, so now what's going to happen is the Facilities Committee is going to look at 2 or 3 options. That will start tomorrow. One would be a new school. One of the things that got the most positive impact was a new school at a much lower cost, but we didn't define what a lower cost was. And I think that's probably different for every voter. And then some variation of maybe consolidating the schools, moving the kids around to accommodate the buildings that we do have. More to come there as well. But our goal is to have a recommendation to the school board by the middle part of March.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Plansky? Jay, do you have anything that you'd like to add? Or?
I do not.
Okay, all right. We talked about the public hearing for the police station. Anything else you want to add to that, Ms. Kleiner?
So I think there's one other item that may have not been discussed a lot. It's actually the last article on the proposed warrant articles. So the town is asking to establish an expendable trust to put away legal fees and engineering and other costs. It might seem like a large amount of money. It's $100,000 that we're asking to put aside from unassigned. And that is to explore the option of taking the Litchfield water system from Public Work, from Pennachuck Waterworks. It may not be high on everyone's public notice at the moment, but they have been proposing this merger of Pennachuck East, Pittsfield, and Pennachuck. That final hearing's coming up on the 14th. I think that it has some pros, and it certainly has some cons. Both Litchfield and Londonderry, as well as Bedford's, were active in the conversation. We didn't feel that we could really disagree with the merger at this point, that there was really anything the town had that could hold up against the merger. But we're concerned going forward. And so you may see a decrease in your water bill directly from the merger at first. But you need to remember that there's legal costs that come with the merger that will call for another rate case next year. And we think that that's something that we may incur that more and more. And so when you look at merging these systems together, you need to look at the age of all the systems, because, for instance, if Londonderry needed new systems, or if Nashua needed new systems, it's now all of us.
We're all gonna get whacked for the
That's right.
infrastructure costs, yeah.
And so Litchfield systems, we know because we did a study just to, kind of get an expert opinion on what Litchfield systems look like, and they're good and they're healthy. Do we want to incur the costs of other systems that may be of older age? Or maybe new systems that aren't necessarily covered like ours were through the St. Gobain. That's something we need to study more. If we did, so this is just a warrant article to establish the trust fund for us to do said research. Anything after that would go back to the voters. This is not, pulling the plug and going for it. There would be a lot more conversation, but we can't do our due diligence if we don't have this money and really call in the experts to investigate. So it's an important warrant article. And I know since I have been here, this Pennachuck is probably one of the items I have heard the most from residents about. They've come into my office, they've, been very concerned about the water rates that we pay. So it's something that the select board has taken very seriously.
Thank you very much, and I think that's, it is an important issue. Anybody have anything else this evening that they want to discuss? So, since this is our, I guess, first meeting of the capital improvement for 2025, I didn't know if we wanted to talk about what, as we move forward, what our schedule is going to look like in terms of after after town meeting and so forth, and when we want to start meeting. I think we started meeting a little later this past year, but given that we have the opportunity maybe to look at the calendar and see when the next opportunity to meet would be, just a thought. Anyone have any suggestions on that, or?
April sometime. I
Yeah.
would guess after the election of the warrants. And then I think we should probably discuss, when we're gonna start making requests out to department heads and other stuff, since there was some feedback that people weren't notified and things, I'm not saying it's true, just saying they came around, and, making sure that goes out a couple times so everybody's aware, and then we can probably get some of that stuff over, at least preliminarily, so we can start working through this, and that they have refinements over time. We open up a spot for them to do refinements, say, mid to late summer, and then that way we can have an initial, and then we can do refinements, and then we can wrap up sooner than we did this year. So now everybody's not in a scramble and doing meetings, for Christmas Eve or just before.
Kept me out of the mall.
There you go.
So I'm hopeful this year, last year we did not have it up and running. Of course, this year we have the website. We're really trying to push our boards and commissions to the website. And so one of the things that we will be starting this year is under administration. We will put notices just for boards and commissions to go to that page and look at, like, for instance, capital improvement plans are due from all boards and commissions on such and such, send them here.
We need to, do templates or something after the warrants are handled in the election and say, hey, your warrant for this line or whatever, maybe help streamline it a little bit for these folks to make it more appetizing for them to start working on it sooner. I don't know, just a thought.
We can certainly work on the template. I mean, I think it's probably been a while.
Yeah, I mean, the forum's pretty standard,
It
so we could
is,
update
yeah.
that pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, just like, okay, well, this passed, okay, great, this is still on the plan, this didn't, just to kind of help summarize.
Like an update, yeah.
Yeah,
To streamline it for the
Yeah,
folks that have
certainly,
to
we
submit
can
all
that's a
do
the
good
that.
idea, just
Yeah,
status, yeah.
a
Yeah.
status, okay.
Then it kind of gives them a starting point. Especially after elections, you get new folks. that-
In terms of the schedule for April, do we have a particular date in mind for that?
Man, that's 4 months away.
That's so hard.
It'd be the 7th if we're.
But it's gonna get here
sticking-
before you know it.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, and that's a good point. Maybe we should start scheduling the monthly targets and just get them on the calendar now, because, I mean, I think that was part of the issue last year, right?
Yeah.
We got
Because
overbooked out.
we
right?
couldn't find one.
We
Absolutely.
gotta be proactive.
Right,
So,
so April 7th could be the organizational meeting, right?
April
and I
7th.
do not see anything
See
for
it.
April
Maybe we
7th.
should just put that in.
Let's just-
Got it, I will make
Let's
a
just
note.
start blocking the schedule,
Yeah.
because we kept getting bumped last time.
Right.
First in, first out.
It's a Monday.
Right.
Sure the selectmen aren't gonna have that night?
That's a question
No, we're
for
second and-
both Kims.
We're second and third, right? We're second and fourth.
Yeah,
Mondays.
second and the fourth.
This is the first Monday of the month, right?
Yeah, I think that's why we were
Yeah.
doing the first Monday.
Kim, when do you think, in terms of getting the information from department heads and boards, when they would be ready to present, do you think it would be around June, or is that late, or May? I'm not sure.
I think May's early, I think June is, more spot on.
Okay,
So, a lot of time and budget and CIP kind of go hand in hand.
yeah,
Well,
So,
we could do our initial chats after the warrants are done in April, and then May, maybe we can go through and draft the updated templates and finalize that and get that over to the department heads to help. I don't know, just
Good
trying to
idea.
think.
so have a meeting in May to talk.
Yeah, I think we
to
do the
that.
draft, we can do a cut, and then we can go back and do a refinement, and then we can push it out to the department heads. So, they all know what's in there, what's not, and reminders, refreshers, and help encourage the process.
Any openings in May, Kim?
I believe that
Cinco de Mayo.
That's right.
Yeah,
That'd be an
it
interesting
is,
meeting.
It is.
the 5th.
Is it?
is the fifth.
Are we just gonna do first Mondays of the month?
That's
I
what
mean, I
we've been doing.
think technically we
we
have,
have
so
been
those are
Kim's
probably the
cringing at the
dates
whole
that.
Cinco de Mayo coming, I think.
No.
Okay, so if
There you go.
Then 6-2-7-1.
there's no issue, then we can just do May 5th, so that would be the main meeting
It's fine with
for
me.
Monday. And, and I guess that would leave June for big starting, looking at what the,
Yeah, if anybody's ready.
If anybody's ready.
I guess.
Okay. May 5th. So would you have May 5th them do? Or just us reviewing?
I think it would be just us reviewing what, I guess the template's gonna be, or how
Okay.
we're gonna
Set, templates,
set
status
the
report.
agenda, whatever.
So we can draft that stuff. I mean, it shouldn't take a ton of time for us to kind of go through that.
What would be optimal, Kim, for asking for everybody's projects to be in. The submittals from the departments.
So they're actively working on, budget through July. And the reason I say budget is important is, they need to look at, what they'll have for personnel costs, personnel available, blah, 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 to get whatever project's done, so
That's my birthday.
they do tie. So I would say more towards the end of July is,
August 4th. It's Monday, so that'd be a good, right, August 4th, a good
Okay.
target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Plus that week of July. It's like
Yeah, so
holiday.
if they're,
People are gone.
if they get them done by the end of July, then there's a potential to schedule somebody
Yeah, but that really.
first week of
July.
August, and then maybe somebody else, other departments in September, and
And then if anybody wants to do research updates, because we do have some items marked as research, if they want to do that sooner, whatever.
they could just notify us and we could
Yeah,
put them on any
that is-
agenda.
And then, yeah, and just ad hoc it from there.
Right.
If there's any research updates.
it's a good idea.
That way they don't have to kind of do it all at once.
Yes, sir.
Because I know you guys had a couple research, well, at least the irrigation system.
Yeah, we run into the
Yeah.
Monday
Parks
holidays.
and Rec.
Yeah, and that one, then the next week could be selectmen, and then,
Yes,
so, we might not.
maybe the,
good point. So we don't have a problem in June. June
Maybe we skip
2nd,
July.
July
Good idea.
7th.
Everybody's on
Yeah,
vacation in August.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So skip July,
Yeah.
Skip July.
okay.
071? Out it goes.
So August 4th would be the next one.
July.
Instead of 9/1, you could have another one on the last.
Do we have to do multiples in August, though?
Unless you don't want Labor Day 9/1, that's the,
You
Might be smart to do two in
everyone's gonna
August.
be away.
Because the
for-
first meeting in September
September's the-
meeting would be Labor Day, so you could go last week of August, so you could do multiples, or second to last week, have two meetings in August.
The September and October meeting to draft,
So-
finalize the plan and get the
You couldn't,
public hearing and all that stuff sorted.
yeah, August is tough, cause the 25th is Board of Selectmen. The way it falls.
Oh, right.
You can't do the 1st, and so you can't do the 25th. You could do the 4th and then the 18th, but that's kinda close together, I don't know.
Do a different day in
I mean,
September.
if we're just doing presentations in
different day in
August, I don't think
September.
that's.
Right, if it's different departments, so
Second,
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah, we could do the 4th and the 18th.
no, cause
No?
planning board meets.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
typically
and you
in,
both will be there.
I think in August, the school board, July and August, I think we only meet once a month.
Tuesdays.
So I don't have school board
We
dates
can't help
yet,
it, you guys don't do anything in the summertime.
so,
We're off, we only get paid for
Wednesday.
180
I
days a
think they're
year.
generally, what's school board?
Second, fourth,
Wednesday, first and third Wednesday.
first and third.
First and third, so it would be that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we typically only meet once.
Just do the 4th and the 18th, because it's different departments.
the 4th and the 18th of of August,
Yeah.
Okay,
okay,
we can do that.
4th and the 18th.
And we can take off September and then come back in October. Unless there's a need for a special meeting, which
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
then get accommodated if we needed.
Yeah.
18th.
Are you just gonna assign who's gonna show up in those two meetings in August and just say, hey, you're scheduled for this is your due date?
So if August 4th, all the projects are due, then maybe that meeting, we just want to review them all
Okay.
and talk about them so that people only are coming the 18th.
We're gonna be able to get them all done for individual presentations in a
Well,
night.
no, but more,
Just an overview of each, maybe.
one meeting, we'd probably want to give you an update on the police station, wherever we are with that, if we're,
Sure.
we'll know more after March.
Right.
But
Priorities could change.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm thinking capital wise, what we've talked about don't see a project. I can't think of another large project that the town will have next year if things pass
So you think
this
it's gonna be
year.
relatively streamlined?
I think it will be mostly recreation if we have
Okay.
anything coming forward.
And then if we have to accommodate otherwise, we can handle that.
So I guess the next question would be, if that's the town side, then school, when are we gonna have,
Yeah.
are we gonna have presentations from the school, do you think? I know they talked about
There-
Campbell.
There will
School.
definitely be, well, Campbell is gonna, this is what this request for money is. In the next 5 years or so, Campbell's gonna need a new roof, a new HVAC, based on this on-site insight report. So the idea is to put that money away, so when we have to write that check, we don't have to raise $2 million.
Yeah.
So,
And that's one of the warrants that you were talking about earlier?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. That was a capital improvement fund,
correct.
right? okay.
And
Separate.
do you think, I mean, would you be coming in, would they be coming in October, or do you think, or how?
That warrant article will be a recurring warrant article going forward,
Just like
just like the regular trust fund stuff.
Okay.
I mean, what could be on there next year is something for GMS. Something will be, for GMS will be on there next year. We're a long way away from determining what that is.
I'm just curious, in terms of scheduling, that's, you know, if the school is gonna present their portion, when are they gonna do that? I guess that's my question.
Well,
And is it gonna be, I mean, obviously, we've talked about August, because we're gonna be talking about the town, and then, so, I guess when this,
the goal for the school board would be to have a direction to go in March of 2025.
okay,
And then that I'm sure will be a priority to try to get, if we make a decision, how we're gonna go forward. And at that point, we'd start talking about, plans for whatever's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And there will likely be requests. What those will be, I don't know.
Well, I think that's what Mike is asking, though. I mean, do
we
you think
wanna
that's
put
something we
like a
can do in
placeholder for that?
August? Or something probably September, just for timing, so while
I
we're
would bet more
scheduling?
September than August,
Okay,
because again, we only meet once in July and once in August.
so I think that works then. If we can sort the town in August and do the school September.
so
It
when in
Gives us a
September,
runway
I
to
guess
get
is
the
the
plan
question.
done.
The 15th.
Obviously, I mean, it would have to be,
Yeah, I mean, we could stick in like the 15th tentatively and then kind of see what the schedule,
yeah, as a placeholder.
what the availability really is.
Yeah, okay.
Because everybody be going crazy with the opening of school.
If that's
First
okay
weeks of
with-
school, usually,
Nothing but excuses from you tonight,
usually a
man.
cluster.
End of September?
15th.
Usually
It's sounding more and more like October.
Is
Some fire, always some fire.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. I'm
15th
just
is
trying to get our
available.
calendar and
Why
our
don't we put it in
schedule
as a
sorted.
tentative placeholder then?
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
September
felt like we
15th.
got bullied last year.
We can put that as a placeholder, and we'd be scheduling October 1st.
And that would be for the
and
school specifically.
October, November
Schools,
meetings anyway,
okay.
so.
Yeah. But that gives us our predetermined schedule through the year, and
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
we can flex through
Makes
whatever
sense.
we have to from there.
Be the 10th.
Kim will still bump us, though. You watch.
Okay. Well, and then, so in October, what are we looking at to review everything and kind of,
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we definitely want to put the October 6th as reviewing, but there's always a chance that that's really when we're going to hear from the school.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully finalize and vote on priorities on November 3rd.
Yeah.
That'd be ideal. And then keep the December 1st, and then do a December 1st meeting, just in case whatever loose ends.
Do we want to
So
go?
now I'm gonna complain again.
Who's complaining?
you're gonna bump us.
As much as I love working under the gun,
No, but that's what we're trying not to do.
yeah, we really,
so
really
you're saying we
need
need
to
to be
have
wrapping
it to
it
the
in
Board
November.
of Selectmen by their first meeting in December, because they're voting on warrant articles that first meeting. They have to be to the budget committee, that second
That's tight.
or that third
Yeah.
week in December. And
Yeah.
so you want
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
not-
presenting.
I'm not against what you're saying. I think that's what we
Yeah,
need to do.
I think we should try to finalize on November 3rd.
Yeah.
As of November.
I just
and then
figured,
have
well, schedule December 1st as a placeholder
In
in case.
November, and then
Maybe at the planning board.
presentation, right before Thanksgiving or something.
That makes sense.
The only other comment I'll make about the Board of Selectmen when they saw the SIP was they're realizing how expensive this list is getting, And they're alarmed.
Well, if you guys have guidance to give out to your department heads, feel free.
No, like you said, we're seeing maintenance of buildings, right? Just normal wear and tear. This building's gonna need things, right? It's happening. So they're looking at the numbers and it's reality.
Yeah.
It's reality.
So, but sometimes you need a week to digest that, right? We're seeing it and we're talking through it, but they just see it that night and it's
yeah.
tough to vote the same day you see it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think an item that we agreed on this year is going forward, when a department head brings something to me and I present it to you, at the same time, I will be sharing it with the Board of Selectmen. Because there was some that felt that they hadn't seen that complete police presentation that you folks saw, way back in, I think it was June or July that,
Right.
The chief came in.
Yep.
Sometimes I think that everyone's all knowing of what happens in these meetings, but that's foolish. No one would be able to keep up with all the work the town
With that being
does.
said, do you think we should draft the plan, and then when we're done with that first cut of the town, we just share with the selectmen?
Even as a preliminary, right? Yeah, here's
That
where,
way, we can cut out the miscommunication or forgetfulness, whatever the case was. You know what I mean? At least that way we're crossing that boundary.
It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I mean, Kim does an excellent job of updating them at every meeting. It's just they hadn't seen the whole package, and it's on our
I think if it's in the
portal,
sheet
but
and they can see it like they would
Yeah.
normally see it, it might stick better.
it's difficult. There's a lot going on. Selectmen have a lot to juggle.
Well, 100%. I mean, and, seeing it and talking about it are two different things.
Right.
Again,
So we talked about September 15th, that's going to be tentative for school. October 6th, we're going to have a meeting, is that what we said? Review. We're going to finalize priorities November 3rd.
Yes.
When is the when is the second meeting of the planning board in November, do you know? I don't have a
The
calendar.
18th.
The 18th? Could we do the public hearing for the CIP on the 18th,
If we're ready,
if we're ready?
we could. And if that didn't work, there's a
So-
planning board meeting on December 2nd,
10 days or 7?
10.
10? Ugh.
I know.
So, I mean, because I want to try and do it prior to December 1st, if we're going to be going,
Well,
So
Selectmen's-
she'd have to really
Selectmen's
post
first-
it by November 7th.
Yeah, Selectmen's first meeting is December 8th. So you could hold a public hearing on December 2nd if we needed to.
okay, so leave that as a placeholder then for if you needed it.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can, but if we can get it in for that, we'll shoot for the November planning board
November
meeting
18th or December 2nd?
Yeah.
for now. And then I guess the question would be when would we present to the Board of Selectmen?
So then you would present to the Board of Selectmen
The 8th.
The 8th?
the 8th.
Okay, December 8th. All right. So I think that pretty much, I mean, it covers, the agenda for this year, and I think that's a pretty good schedule. And I think if we stay on top of it, you know, I think we should be able to do that.
Yeah, and that'll put us anywhere from 2 weeks to a month ahead of this.
Right.
And if a lot of the departments don't have a lot of change, it's probably gonna go
Be
pretty
as
quick.
bad as-
right,
yeah.
So, now, April, May, June, skip July, August,
2 meetings.
2,
Twice.
September, October, November, possible planning board, the 18th or December 2nd, and then December 8th at the board.
Right.
That work?
It's great.
Works?
All right, we're plugged in.
Well, it's nice to have the year mapped down.
Can we put that?
Right.
Can we
Now-
put
now
that
we
on
just
the
have to
bottom
stick
of
to
our
it.
Yeah,
itinerary?
what could happen?
Now we gotta stick to it.
Absolutely, I'll put it on the bottom of
Plans are great.
the,
Executing them is another story.
Reserving
of
the
the
rooms. that's
portal
key.
or of the agenda
The
each
agenda.
month?
You know how you have who's voting and who isn't, you know, oh.
Yeah, we
that's
can
on the
put it
meeting,
right
but
on the bottom
put it
of
here
the
in
agenda
case
each
if it
month.
changes, right?
Sure.
Yep,
Yeah.
That's perfect.
okay.
Very good.
Are we allowed to reserve the room that far in advance?
Oh, yes, we'll go in, Donna and I will do this tomorrow. We'll make sure that all these are scheduled, otherwise,
Yep.
Somebody's
first
gonna be in
come,
there.
first serve, and Nick can get up
People are probably in there now trying to book off top.
Right, people are watching the meeting and booking the room.
They're like, we're gonna see what Kim has to do
Upset at
tomorrow morning.
home.
Crazy.
Get in early. Okay.
Well, it's just like vacation calendars at work, right?
Any other
I get in
business
first.
that we want to talk about? If not, I think we've done a great job of organizing the schedule for 2025. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we will see you in April. Have a good night.
Oh, thank you.
Citizen reps.
There's two on the selectmen.
Do you have to come up with a board?
Mine and Kim's, yeah.
Well, Mary,
You're just a shoe in forever?
select board?
No,
We want to go for it, but I mean, is there
I think, no,
Is there a
it's,
process you have to come
it's
through?
every 3.
It's on top.
or citizen rep?
I just recycled,
Yeah.
redid it a year or
Years,
so
good,
ago.
perfect. I didn't know
It's
if
like,
it was, I just
it's
thought it was a
well, it's
process.
every 3 or 5 years.
I'm gonna look up all them